Welcome back to the Goku Runner Talks podcast. For this episode, we have a Houston Marathon ambassador on her second year. That's Natasha Epperson. We'll find out about her journey from cycling to running and everything else. So sit back, relax, or run, and enjoy. All right, guys, welcome back to the Goku Runner Talks podcast. Today on the episode, I have another of my Houston Marathon ambassador buddies. This is Natasha Epperson. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're the first Houston ambassador that has been on the team for more than a year. Like we're all rookies that I've interviewed so far. And how long have you been on the Houston Marathon ambassador team?
This will be my second year as an ambassador.
Okay, so before we get into that, we'll definitely get into that. Tell me a little bit about your running story and how did you start running? Were you always active back in the day, or did you just
No,
start
actually, so I'm a diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
I was diagnosed with diabetes back in 2007. And when I was diagnosed, I weighed 180 pounds. And that's a lot of weight when you're 4'7", because I am legally a little person. And so I made a complete life change. I really got into lifting weights, working out. At the time I wasn't running. I got into cycling first. I did the MS 150 and all that stuff. Like I love cycling. Like I got into the outdoor thing. And then I had a couple bike accidents where I tore my rotator cuff.
Yeah.
And so that kind of curtailed my running for about or my biking for about 6 months. And then so I asked my doctor, I said, hey, can I run? And he was like, sure. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to train for my first full marathon. And I had done a couple halves here and there. And so the marathon was my bucket list. And I did my first in San Diego Rock and Roll Marathon.
Oh, wow.
And that was in 2014.
Huh.
And then I was in the Cypress running group and 2015 was coming around. That was in June. 2015 was coming around with the Chevron in January. And all the CRC members were talking about Chevron. And I was like, well, I did okay on the marathon in San Diego. I was like, let me go ahead and do another one. Peer pressure kind of thing. That was an absolute woo. It was not a good run for me. After that one, I said, I'm never going to do another marathon again. I was like, marathons are not for me. But I was like, I'll do halves and I'll just do like general fun running. But running was not my thing. Cycling was still my thing. I was still working out. But then COVID hit. And everybody was very internalized, very little like external, very, nobody social distancing. And that was a big thing for me because I'm a very, very, very social person. And I got super depressed. And then I gained weight again. I got up to like 150 pounds. They re-diagnosed me with diabetes and they were going to put me on antidepressants. And I was like, no, I can't do this. I was like, you know what? I know running is easy. I can get out the door. I can do it. I need little equipment. I'm going to train for half. And then it just immediate, the mental help that it did, it was immediate within like 2 weeks. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was actually having suicide thoughts during COVID because it was just, I couldn't deal with
tough time for everybody. Yeah.
And it was immediate. And then running gave me something different. Like I love being on a race. I love seeing all the people. I love the community. The running community is it is a wonderful community. It really, really is. But running gives me this very internalized, it's very personal for me. I can get out the door. I can just run. I get into my thoughts. I listen to music. I listen to my breathing. I run however distance it is my plan. I have my goal in mind. And there's very little that I have to have the good shoes, but all I really need is, decent shoes, shorts and top, and maybe a light if it's late at night.
Yeah.
And so that was a game changer for me. And then throughout that year in 2021, I think it was 2020, I did my third marathon. I'd have to look. It was either 2020 or 2021, but I think it was 2020. And I did my third marathon because I was a runner. Now I was like, I'm running. I love running. I've never ran so many miles in my life on average per week. I mean, right now on average, I run minimum 25 hours, 25 miles a week.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I run more than most of your normal. I consider myself a running athlete, and I'm an everyday athlete because I'm not like those guys that are going to be, getting
Yeah.
the 2 hour and 3 hour time in the marathon. I mean, I'm consistently running between 5 and 6 hours. I got short legs. So, that probably has a lot to do with it. And I'm over 50. So,
Yeah.
I'm going through menopause. So that's also affected a lot of things too.
So what you said you started running, and what was it about running that actually got you out of your like the COVID depression? And was it the therapeutic part of it where you just got to talk to yourself and work things out? And what was the difference between that and cycling? Did you stop cycling completely, or
No,
was
I
cycling
still
out of the
cycle. I haven't been cycling as much the last 2 years just because I've been trying to add a goal. So like now, like this year was the first year where I did 3 marathons in 1 year.
Mhm.
And unfortunately I was hoping to get back into cycling and doing the MS 150 next year. But I'm in on the Big Sur Marathon in April, and it's
Wow.
literally the same weekend as the MS 150. So
Mhm.
I won't be getting into cycling until after April next year. But anyways, no, I think it was just the ease. Cycling, you have to have a helmet, you have to have a gear, you have to think about where you're riding.
Mhm.
Wind is I mean, the weather is a huge, like running really honestly, other than the heat, and even the heat though, the weather doesn't impact running as much as weather impacts cycling.
Right. Right.
And so it was easier for me to deal with, as you can see, my treadmill at the back.
Mhm.
That's not for winter. That's for
Mhm.
summer.
I get that 100%.
But yeah, the running just was easier. You also have to pay a lot more attention with cycling. You have
Hmm.
to be really, I mean, you have to be aware of your surrounding. I'm not saying that you can't just like get in your head and not pay
Yeah,
attention. But with cycling, you have to pay attention to cars. There's a lot more safety issues involved.
you had to
And
find not chip sealed roads and all that, right? So you have
yeah,
to
and
smooth
then
roads.
you got just all of those involvements. And and it's just so, and running is just, it was easier for me to deal with as a physical activity for the mental health.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
And
sense.
they serve a very similar purpose.
Hmm. Hmm. So you said that in 2014 you ran San Diego, and then you did Houston. You did Houston? You said.
Yeah, I did the Houston Chevron in the January 2015.
So what made Houston harder? Because I think I might have ran San Diego the same time as you, and there's that big old hill over there, and it's tough. San Diego's pretty. I actually ran pretty fast because those downhills on San Diego were really good. But Houston's flat, right?
I've actually done that hill twice.
Uh,
I did a San Diego half, and the San Diego half takes that same hill. Um, I think, like when I did the San Diego marathon, and I finished in 5 hours and like 50 minutes. And, I think it was new. I didn't know what to expect. What hurt me on the Chevron is I had to poop
yeah, that'll
halfway
get you.
through. I had a beautiful time. My time because my husband was volunteered, he was there at the finish line for me. And he watches me on the abs and all that stuff,
Mhm,
and he on the
mhm.
timing chip, and he was following me, and he goes, "You were doing great," and then I had to poop so bad, and at the time I didn't know how to deal with issues that arise. And so I tried to, it was 20 minutes. And so I lost that 20 minutes. And then, so my body had cooled down. And that was
Mhm,
at the
mhm.
halfway mile mark. And then
Yeah,
I
oh
didn't
yeah.
know I didn't understand at that time that I needed to let my body re-warm up. When I left that porta potty, I tried to
Turn off.
go full
Mm.
on speed and try to get that same pace. And then, like within a few miles, I was in massive amounts of pain.
Oh
I
man.
finished like I didn't even qualify. Like it doesn't even show like legacy wise. It
Oh,
doesn't
you
show up.
finished after the six
Yeah, it
hours.
doesn't even show up as a legacy
Uh,
timing because it doesn't even show up on my time chip. I got my medal though.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what's important. I don't
That's
even
important.
have nowadays. I don't even have the time for that in Strava anymore because it's been so long.
Yeah.
And I think my watch died on me at that time, so I didn't even have that. Yeah, but I finished. I
Wow.
got the medal. I got the T-shirt. And I did it. And then I was like, I'm never doing another one again.
We want to actually, I did San Diego, and then I did do a race with my ex over in Houston, and we finished, but we finished like at 6:04. So we got a time initially, but then it took it off like after like a week or so.
It
So
was
it
like
doesn't show.
7. I think I finished it. I want to say I finished like 6 hours and 45 minutes or something.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I was walking at the end,
Mhm.
and it was so funny because I remember a couple of girls that when I was starting to like really die, they were talking to me and we were like both like in a lot of pain. And the girls were like telling me how they literally did not train.
Oh,
They had
no.
woke up and decided that they were going to do the marathon. So I don't think they finished because I
Yeah,
passed them. And
yeah,
I don't think they finished the marathon because I know
yeah.
at least I didn't get picked up on the sag wagon, but the clock was stopped. Everybody was packing up.
The arch
Most
was still there for
people
when you
is
when you
gone.
finished. The arch was still there when you finished.
Yeah, the arch was still there, but they were cleaning up. The sweepers were
Mm.
out. They were picking up cones. The trucks, the cop car was like literally right behind me.
But after that,
Um,
you started training harder, and then now you consider yourself you consider yourself a runner more than a cyclist now.
right now at this specific time, yes.
Okay.
Just because I'm focusing more like running is just more like me. It's more personal to me. The cycling is very
Individual.
social. I have a lot of cycling groups I'm in. I mean, I'm in the running groups, but because of my schedule and where I live, it's not something that I can go meet. And I have to run in the mornings
Hmm.
because I found that if I run in the evenings, I get injured.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I have to make sure that I run in the morning so that my body's not swollen and all that kind of stuff.
For me, running in the morning is it's better for me because I don't eat. At night, I'm usually I'll go for a run and my belly's full and I can't take a long run with with all the food I eat because I have no self control.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm bad about like if I'm like long rough day, I don't feel like running
Yeah.
at the end of the day, then I'm not going to do it. So if I do it in the morning, it's done. I don't have to worry about it. I know I did it. I have a coach,
Hmm.
and my running coach. So he's more my running coach than my cycling coach, but because I feel pretty like I know how to cycle kind of thing.
Hmm.
But he goes, "You are one of the most consistent runners and athletes that I have on my list of athletes." He goes, "You put your plan in place and then you follow that plan."
That's awesome. That's good. I like having a plan too. Like if I don't have a plan, then I won't run. Like if I don't have a training plan, and I'm like, I'll just do 3 miles today, or I'll just do my group runs. But if I'm not having a plan, then I won't run. So I'm like you. I need to have a plan. I probably should get a coach like you. So why did you decide to get a coach for running?
So the last year I was doing Big Star and or no, it was the year.
You've done Big Sur
No,
before.
no, it was the year before that.
Okay.
The year before that, I was doing the Grandma's Marathon
Hmm.
and the MS 150. So it had me training basically because the Grandma's Marathon is in June and MS 150 is at the end of April. So I needed help thinking about my plan of, how to deal with that high volume for training for a marathon. and the high volume that you need for the MS 150 when you get
Yeah.
close, because I needed hill training for both. I need, because MS
Yeah.
150 has considerable hills on the bike, and it's over 2 days. So a lot of times when you're training for the MS 150, you're riding 50, 60 miles both Saturday and Sunday. So it's like, how do I plan that in, and then adding in having to run 20 miles
Yeah. That's just tough.
for that program? And so I just, I had a game plan, but I wanted to have that additional, hey, take it easy thing. Your body's looking a little rough right now, or your runs are looking bad. Oh, here's some speed work. That's what I've liked a lot, is that he's giving me the speed work, and he's telling me that, okay, you can take it pretty easy this week. You don't have to go crazy 50 miles this week.
That's pretty good. So, where did you find him? He was just one of your.
So I just Googled, I figured an Ironman trainer would be good, since I was at
Mhm.
that time I was doing biking
Both.
and running.
Mhm.
So I Googled Ironman training, and he's the Rampage. His team is called Rampage, and his name is Jeffrey Short. I don't know if you don't mind me plugging him out there. I'll plug
Yeah,
him
go
out
ahead.
there. But I plugged him out, and I don't even run with him that much or cycle with him that much, because they're out in Pearland
Mm.
and I'm up on the north side. But I mean, he texts. I voice call him and chat with him all the time, and he looks at all my data and stuff like that. But I Googled it, and he came up on the radar as an Ironman coach, and I called him up and talked to him, and I said, hey, this is what my plan is. What's your fees? What, can you help me? I just need somebody to look at what I have planned out for myself, because I feel like I'm pretty good on my planning anyways. So he
Yeah.
just gives me that little, it's like kind of like having a safety net.
Yeah. Seems like
And
it's working. And you're not injured. You haven't been injured, right? Right?
no, I've had plantar fasciitis issues.
Hmm.
But those are things that actually I just played around with different stretches that the internet's helped me with figuring out, and and those are what I now do. And I haven't had plantar fasciitis issue, knock on wood,
I know.
since 2022. I had some really bad plantar
Mm.
fasciitis at the end of that run, but I still finished it.
So,
2022
so,
was like my best run time. I
so
had
how
finished.
many marathons have you done since 2014 or
I've done
overall?
8.
8. Okay. And you just did Marine Corps Marathon, right? Just
Yeah, I did it. And
not
so,
too long
like,
ago.
yeah, I'm back running this week. So this Saturday or this Sunday, I'm running 17 miles.
So you're not doing the Cypress Half Marathon?
I thought about it, and then I was hemming and hawing. I was looking at the weather, and then I was thinking about being outside because I know the route, and then I was thinking about
Yeah.
being no shade. And I was like, no, I'm just
Oh
gonna
man.
go to, and I have to make sure that I can get easy access to a bathroom. Now I'm
I've
a
signed
pro
up.
about it. So
I signed up last minute for that race, so I'm signed up. I'll be doing it on Sunday. So
yeah, I
I'll
was
be
kind
I'll
of
be
really
there.
torn. I was like, I want to do it, but then I was like, eh. So and then it was like, and then the deadline passed to sign up, and I was like, oh well, I guess it was not meant to be. And then because I go to Memorial, I like doing Memorial
Yeah.
because it's dirt track, and so I think that helps avoid injury because most of the week I'm running
Softer,
on
yeah.
concrete.
And it feels like a race over there. Whenever you're at Memorial Park, I mean, the energy is there. You could
I
chase
see lots of
people,
people.
you do
I see the
whatever.
same
Yeah.
people. I high five them. Then if I want to do hill work, you got the overpass now.
Yep. Yep.
I can do a 3 mile loop. I can do a 4 mile loop. I can do 6. I can do 7. Sometimes I end up going into downtown.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then you have easy access to water, which that's
Yeah.
really super important.
Yeah, it's never boring over there. I actually did like a 30 miler over there. I just did the loops, and it was fine for me. I saw the same people. I usually see like two little kids that are like flying. I'm like, how fast are these kids? But
I
it's
think
fun
I
to
know
see
the
like
one
these
that you're
kids do
talking
that.
about. They're two little kids, and then they got a
Yeah,
mom that they're running with. Sometimes I'll
maybe.
be in front of the mom.
But they're just flying. There's like easy miles, and I was like, man, I'm over here. But so you're a Houston Marathon ambassador, and you've done it for 2 years. This is your
Yeah.
second year. What How has it been? What should I look forward to on race day, or and how did you get into it?
So, one of my friends, Roro, she
Hmm.
is an ambassador, and I followed her, and she and I chatted, and we've met, and we've had. I'm very energetic. I'm very much promoting. I would want anybody and everybody to run. I think it's a great mental support, even if you don't run a half marathon or a full marathon. If you want to just do a 5K, my husband's running a 5K. So I told my story. She always said the applications were coming up because I asked her, "How do you become an ambassador?" And she was like, "Hey, the applications are coming up," and so I filled up the applications, and I got in. And race day was a lot of fun. That year, I didn't do the double, though I am doing the double this year. So
Are you doing the marathon or the
I'm going to
half?
do the 5K on Saturday, and then I'm going to do the full on Sunday.
Nice, nice.
And I'm going to take the 5K super
Oh
easy.
yeah, yeah. I'm not racing
That's
that.
both on the direction of my coach, and I kind of have a feeling, looking at how the weather's going to be, I think it might be a hot one this year.
No, don't say that. It's too
I'm
far.
really hoping
It's
not.
way too far.
I'm really hoping, but what 2023 was bad. Oh, it was
Yeah, yeah.
gross.
I remember
It
that
was
one.
really gross.
24 wasn't too bad.
No, 24 was actually
It's
pretty
pretty.
pleasant. It was
Yeah,
actually
it was
really
nice
ideal.
weather. I just don't like the
Um,
hot weather. Hot weather will kill me. So
oh
that's
man,
when I'll be suffering.
it
So
was, yeah. 2023 was pretty bad. But yeah, so I'm gonna take it easy. Plus, I got Big Sur coming up in April too, so it's right around the corner. But race day is just like full of energy. I love seeing people, first timers. I love seeing people struggling and helping them. I've
mhm,
had people
mhm,
come up to
that's
me and
nice.
tell me that they follow me and they watch my videos, even though like not many people comment on my videos, but
That's true. Yeah,
apparently they still watch, and because
yeah, yeah.
they come
You
up
never
to me and
know.
they say that they follow me and they talk to me, and it feels
Yeah.
really good. They say, "Oh, my husband and I, we talk about you, and we talk about how, look, she's doing it. Let's go out and do it." And that, because I love, my biggest favorite thing to say is just get outside and just walk. If you want to run, walk. You don't have to run the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
Just get outside. Even the full marathon, you just have
Hmm.
to make sure that if you're going to walk, you need to make sure that your pace is fast enough to beat the clock.
13:44 or better.
Yeah, I think it's like 14 something. Whoops, hold on, my cat tail took out my camera.
That's
um,
Walter, guys. If you guys don't, if that's Walter the cat. That's over there.
but yeah, that's just energy, lots of excitement. I've talked to the ambassador boss and Cora, and talked to her about, like, she's asked about things about what do some of the runners, what are they wanting, what do they look for. And I feel like I'm a really good ambassador for slower runners. I'm
Hmm.
not a fast runner. I mean, I can be a fast runner, but in
Yeah,
general, I'm at the back of the pack.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, and unfortunately, a lot of the people come to the races when they're spectators and they're cheering, and a lot of the support is for those front runners. And so and we've talked to Cora about, ways that we need more support for the slower runners. We need to make absolutely sure that we do not run out of medals, because that
Yeah.
that is
That's horrible. That's the
that is
worst.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Last year they talked about people who finished I think it was Boston or New York. I think it was New York Marathon, where
Hmm.
they ran out of medals,
Yeah.
and that is heartbreaking, especially for somebody who's, it's their first time.
Yeah. Let's
To finish
imagine.
that, you get that accomplishment. That medal is such a big deal.
It's like nobody cares about you at the end if you don't get a medal, right? You're just
Right?
like,
So, but that's what I think we can expect on race day. And I've got some of my friends that are going to hopefully do the Houston 5K on Saturday. I've even told a couple of my friends, "Hey, look, I'll go with you if you're running and walking. I don't care. I'll run walk with you. I'll run it with
there you
you.
go.
Just sign up, do it, and join me, and just have a great time." Especially the 5Ks. The 5Ks are, just get out there and have a good time, enjoy yourself. And don't stress it. Sign up for any 5K. My husband signed up for his first 5K, and he's been training this year just to try to get physically healthy, and he's been doing good. So he's been following the Garmin training plan for a 5K.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Garmin
yeah.
has it.
And
I mean,
Garmin
there's
needs
no
to put
excuse
one for a
nowadays.
full marathon.
So I'm
Yeah.
a back of the pack runner, just like you. Like I'll be out there. So what do you think that? What do you think that? What did you suggest that people have, or Takora, that the Houston Marathon have for us?
I just said that make sure, that they don't run out of water, that they have the medals, and like even if like have people like just out there cheering, like even if you can afford to pay or whatever, just like get
Hmm.
people to stay long enough to cheer, because that the crowd energy makes such a huge difference.
Hmm.
And
100%.
from the times where I've run a fast half marathon and
Yeah,
ran a slow marathon, and you see those crowds, and I can see the
big
difference
difference.
between
Yeah.
how those crowds are. And I'm like, man, this like my best marathon I finished in, or half marathon I finished in 2 hours and 4 minutes. And so that was a pretty good average. I was averaging, that was a good time average for me. And, so I had all of the people and the crowds were there. And, and that worked out really well. The other thing I can say for the slower runners is find the pacers and stay with the pacers, because a lot of the pacers have really good energy. I will say the Marine Corps Marathon Pacers, man, they were amazing. They were on point with their time. They were like, I'm walking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're walking for 30 seconds. All right, 30 seconds is up. We're running in 5, 4. I mean, they were like,
That's
their
awesome.
paces were
Yeah,
on point, and they had
that's
really good
achieved.
energy too. Like that was really fun to see those Pacers.
So I know you probably heard about the New York Marathon, and I do want to talk about a little bit about what happened. I'm sure you know the big thing that all the influencers, since we are kind of influencers, we're ambassadors, and you post stuff on Instagram. You said that you don't know if people watch it, just like me. There'll be people that come up to me and they don't comment, but I know they're watching because they're like, oh, I watch your stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, what's your name? Because everybody's name is not like Joe Smith. It's always like
Right.
running girl try whatever. So uh Matt Choi, he ran and he did the e-bike thing, and he got banned from the New York City Marathon. What are your thoughts about that, and influencers in the wild, and how that's affecting what ambassadors are doing for marathons and all that, and filming in your race?
I mean, I see both sides of the story. I mean, because people have talked about how he's done a lot for the running community. He
Hmm.
encourages runners, and he has that energy. But to me, in my opinion, I think you can still have that encouraging energy and not impede other runners. Like I think
Yeah,
what he did with the e-bike and having those people, it took away a lot of, other runners, and it's also not safe. I
yeah,
couldn't even imagine. It's bad enough, especially on the big marathons. Like the Marine Corps was the biggest marathon that I've ever ran in, people wise. And I could not imagine running and having to dodge somebody on an e-bike. I mean,
yeah.
and that e-biker is also following that person. Like I've done it where I've cycled and done cycled with the pacer. So a
Hmm.
lot of times some of these runs here in Houston, they'll get pacers on bikes to pace with the lead runners and then go through and kind of like check out the course and follow people. But you're not impeding in runners, and you're doing everything you can to stay out of other people's way.
Yeah.
So I think that what he did absolutely should be banned from the New York City Marathon. And
Yeah, yeah. I think he could do what he's doing. Just don't impede on anybody else's, marathon. Like if you're ruining somebody else's experience, then that's the bigger issue, or safety. But making content is fine. And there's a lot of talk about influencers and how they should just ban all cameras from races nowadays because of what he's done. Uh,
that
most
would
people don't have. Yeah,
I don't see banning cameras. I mean, not only that, but okay, so what are you going to ban cell phones?
yeah. You can't ban it.
I use my phone Or there's a program called 360. I think you have it. And I think I
Yeah,
had
Insta
talked to
360.
you about the 360.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what made me get the 360, because I think it
Oh,
was you that
nice.
I followed and asked about how you got it to where it didn't show the stick.
Yeah. I
And
think you
so I
did.
bought that. And that's what I used for my filming on last year's Ambassador, all the film that I took on the course.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's nice because it doesn't get in anybody's way.
No.
I can just stick it out and I can put it in front of me. It's not like nobody's running. I'm really interested in buying one of those hover
I saw
drone
that.
things
I
that
almost
follow
bought
you.
it today. They're pretty cheap,
Yeah,
compared to drones.
I
But
really looked at them and I'm like, oh, I really want one.
I'm gonna bring out one of those for my Houston Marathon. Okay. No,
Are you gonna do it?
I will not do. No, I can't bring that on the
Ah, but
marathon.
see, now that's
They
a
would kill
drone.
me.
So that
I'm
would
like,
be you could have it like up.
no,
Like
no.
maybe
They would ban.
we
I'll
might
be
get it for
banned.
the marathon and do it because it's supposed to be really light, and then I usually run with my pack. So maybe like when I'm not, because when the battery dies or whatever, I can just stick it in my pack. Maybe I'll buy one for the Chevron and we'll see how that works out.
I
But
don't
it's not
know.
like a stand, it's like in the air,
Yeah, it's in the
you
air.
know,
It's following you. I don't know how
it's
well it'll
following
follow
you.
you with like fifth what 26,000 people at the Houston Marathon. We'll see.
I know that'd be
You
hilarious. It's like,
definitely
okay, it's
test it
following me,
out.
and then it gets lost and follows somebody else. That
There
would be
goes your
pretty
drone.
funny.
Uh, so yeah, yep. So yeah, just don't. I think the end of the story is just be thoughtful of other people and their space, and
Absolutely.
don't
But
impede on other
you
space.
don't want to, like, no, you don't want to ruin everybody else's experience. It's not all about you.
So what else is up? What else are you training for besides that? You got the Big Sur. Any other big races that you signed up for? Are you looking to do the 6 stars or anything? Any of that?
So, unfortunately, because I'm a teacher, I really would love to do 6 stars. I really want to do Tokyo so bad.
Mhm.
I really, really, really want to do Tokyo. But I'm a teacher and I can't take the days off when Tokyo
Mhm.
is.
Ah,
So it's like if it is lined during spring break, it'd be great. I'd be like all about it. So I right now I'm seeing how next year's looking after Big Sur. Um, I might try to do there's a cycling race in August called Hotter than Hell 100.
I've done that. That's a good one.
It's a good one.
It's
So
super
I
hot.
might plan to do that after Big Sur. I did sign up for the lottery for Chicago. So
Mhm.
I've,
Good
I've
luck.
literally signed up for it for like 4 years in a row. So
Wow.
maybe fifth year is the charm. Big Sur and
Big Sur's a lottery, right?
yeah, Big Sur's a lottery. The reason that I'm able to get into it this year is because they had the slip on the road
Mhm.
last year, so the route was not the normal route.
Mm.
And so a lot of people were complaining because a lot of people wanted to get their money back because it wasn't the iconic route. You didn't go over the bridge. We ran far enough to see the bridge in the distance, but we didn't go over the bridge, and then we turned around.
Wow.
So a lot of people were complaining about that. Big Sur was actually really cool, and they said, "All right, we're going to be nice to y'all who, if you got in the lottery this year and you run it, you got you're not a free entry, but you got a guaranteed entry for
Mhm.
2025." And so
Okay.
I was like, well, I wasn't originally planning on doing it. I was planning on doing the MS 150 next year and then doing some other marathon. Because I wanted overall goal, I want to try to start thinking about doing a marathon in all 50 states.
Oh wow.
But I was like, well, it's a lottery, so it's like, what are my chances of ever getting into it again? And so I
Yeah.
was like, I'm going to do it. It's fate, so I'm going to do it. So I signed up for it again.
Yeah, that's a
Those
dream race
hills
for many
were
people. I
no
want to
joke.
do that race. The what? What was no joke?
Those hills were
Oh.
no joke. Woo!
But the views had to be pretty because
Oh,
isn't that you're
the
just
views
going?
were
Yeah, you just
amazing. Oh, and the weather. The weather was perfect.
How about the
Um,
people with the drums? Were they out
oh, it's
there?
so cool. The taiko drums.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a guy that every year he's on a Hurricane Point, and he has a grand piano, and he's playing classical music on the grand piano.
Wow.
And because of the way that the hills are, you can
Mm.
hear the
Uh,
music for like a mile out, front, back, and ahead. And that's really, really cool. And a lot of people are taking pictures and selfies in front of him and all around him. And yeah, the views were like Grandma's Marathon and Big Sur Marathon are like the top three most beautiful scenic marathons are Big Sur, Grandma, and the Hawaii Kauai marathon. Those are the
mhm.
three considered the most beautiful marathons in
Wow.
the U.S. And
Wow.
so I literally did Grandma and Big Sur just because they were the most beautiful marathons.
So now Hawaii's next for you.
Hawaii would be great, but Hawaii is also another issue. It's like almost a 24-hour flight from here to
Yeah.
Hawaii.
But
And
I heard the
so,
time limit for that is like forever. Like there's no
oh yeah,
ending.
there is no time limit.
Yeah, you
Like
could do it
you
in like
literally,
24 hours or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You get like 8 hours or something. Like I was even out talking to the race director up at Big Sur, and she
Hmm.
and I actually got to talking, and she was like, "Hey, look, you want an entry? You come in. I like your energy, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Man, I would love to," but then I'm like looking up when it is, and I'm like, "Oh, it's not gonna work."
Yeah. It's like the flights there, man, that's when running gets expensive when you have to travel, get the hotels and
And
all that. So
and then it's like, well, if the flight is 24 hours, I need to take enough days off to make it worth it and recover and be able to physically, have that ability to run the marathon. And yeah, so that's one of the reasons why I was like, Tokyo is kind of like, so maybe when I retire from teaching, then I'll start looking into my 6 stars.
so you're very creative, and you've made some stickers for the Houston Marathon to raise some money, and then other things. Where'd you find that creativity? Or is that what you teach, or do you do graphic design?
No, actually, I'm a mathematics teacher. I teach algebra and
Okay.
geometry. I've always been an artist. I've always drawn and doodled. I had a time where I was a graphic artist, but the pay was not so hot. Especially, I can't even imagine how bad it is for graphic artists now with AI.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure.
Like okay, that just put the nail in the coffin of like a whole career. But I just do it for fun now. It's like if I feel like being creative or get an idea, I break out the sketch pad and draw, and however I'm feeling. And I have days where I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything.
So what were you raising money for? Was there a specific
for
charity?
the Marathon Foundation charity, for the
Okay.
Houston Marathon Foundation charity. I
Because
love.
Natasha was making like Taylor Swift bracelets and selling these
Yeah.
cool Houston Marathon stickers with an astronaut on it. I thought that was really cool, and I was
Oh,
like,
I
man, I
love
need
that
to.
design. I was
Yeah,
pretty
that was
happy with
pretty
that
awesome.
design and how that came out. I was like, and
You should make a T-shirt out of that.
I thought about it.
Like the Brooks, like they have that little printing press before the
Hmm.
marathon. You should
Hmm.
like try to get that in there. That I would get wear the T-shirt for sure.
Okay, I'll see about putting it on a T-shirt and send y'all the link.
Very easy.
Yeah, it was. I
Okay.
wanted to raise money for the Houston Marathon Foundation because it's a good charity. It's promoting running in school for kids and getting them into the passion. The running community is grown. I mean, what Houston was voted one of the best has one of the best running parks now in the world.
Wow, that's
The
crazy.
memorial
I
with
didn't
the
have that. Yeah,
overpass and that
that's awesome.
whole though and they're doing a big thing not just for running but the whole cycling
Mhm.
routes that they're adding and they're
Like you
extending.
could
You
go to
can
Woodlands or
now,
something, right?
yeah, I can ride my bike from one point about 25 to 30 miles without being on the road at all.
Wow. That
um,
see, if I had that, I would cycle again because like you, I stopped cycling because not I didn't get injured, but my friends were getting in bad accidents with the cars and just cycling accidents. So I was like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna stick with running. It's a little more safer.
Yeah, it is. And especially nowadays with the distracted drivers.
Hmm.
Even running. Like there's been some people who are runners who have been hit by cars, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
how do you run and you get hit by a car? Like it
Yeah.
just. But
I was running at night one time. I had like the Knox gear light up, lighting thing, lights all over the place. And then the car stopped, and I thought the car behind me would stop too. So I went, and he almost ran me over. I was like, I cannot be more lit up than that. So now I always go behind. I think everybody's gonna kill me, so I always go behind the cars.
I've had that happen to me too. What I was just like, what? Why did you like? And even like they'll I'll make eye contact with them, and I'm just like, no. I'll motion to them. I'm like, I'm not. You will win. You will win that battle, and I don't want to risk that. But they said that they did some statistics, and I bet you it's similar statistics with runners too. Is that most cyclists are hit, most bike accidents happen in intersections. And so
Yeah.
there's that communication, just like you said. I think that with a pedestrian, with a runner or with a bike, you don't have that protection around you to with that other car, and most we don't really have a way to signal that we're
Yeah.
going this way or that way or going ahead on running or biking. With a car, you have turn signals. If you're smart, you're using them so you can have that communication. And at least in a car, if you're at an intersection, you have the car to protect you if you get hit.
Yeah.
While pedestrian,
All cars are stupid. That's all you gotta think of.
yeah,
They're all not concerned with stuff.
absolutely. Yeah. So now I don't. I've had enough times where I'm just like, go, 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 come, come, go, pass. I'm not. I don't trust you.
So, has your running have you influenced your kids that you teach? Are they thinking, I want to run too, like Miss Epperson?
So I haven't really. I don't think I've influenced my kids to run. I've
Hmm.
influenced some of my other friends on social media to run. I have had kids that get excited that are doing runs with their parents or even the MS 150, and I talk to them. Like I've actually had a couple of my students that I've done the MS 150 with. I've had a couple of students, like last year, one of my students, he did the half marathon, and he saw me out in the course and he was all excited, and we took a selfie together. And then we both wore our medals on Monday, and we took selfies again of us wearing a medal on Monday, and we were all like prancing around in our medal. And I was talking to him how impressed I was that he ran that. And then I've actually had a couple of kids, oh yeah, I just decided to run 17 miles this weekend. I'm like, oh, well, you go with your bad
How old
self.
are these kids?
I was like,
How old are the kids you teach?
so I teach 7th to 8th grade.
Okay.
So they're anywhere from 12 to 14, depending on where they're at and how their birthday falls.
Okay. That's impressive. 17 miles.
And he showed me his Strava of his little loops. And I'm like, you didn't go on your bike or something. But, even if he had done his bike, that would have been
Yeah.
impressive,
That's a lot of
you
miles.
know.
So is there anything else you want to share with everybody before we get to the last section of this? Maybe some
um,
words of wisdom to those people that want to start running or want to run a marathon like you, and they're on the like the on the edge. They're like, maybe I want to do it, maybe I don't.
my biggest word of advice for that is just do it. Nike said it best. Just do it. Don't worry about anybody else's. Don't worry about their
Hmm.
pace. Don't worry about how fast they are. Don't worry about looks either. Especially nowadays, there's runners of all shapes and size.
100%.
And it's hot, and if you want to take your shirt off, take your shirt off. Don't care. Just be you. I mean, just be happy. Get outside. Just do it. If you have to do 1 minute a run, 1 minute walk, or even 1 minute walk, 30-second run. Build up to that pace of being able to run longer than a minute. Just do it. Don't worry about it and just do it.
That's awesome advice because even now I go out and I'm not as fast as I used to be. I used to be a faster runner. Now I'm a more of a run walker. And sometimes in my head I'm like, man, what if these people see me run or walk or they see me walking? And I'm huge. I'm like trying to post everything on social media nowadays, but people will say things, and you know what? It doesn't matter. You just go out there and do you, and you'll be better. You're the one improving yourself. You don't have to worry about any body and what anybody else thinks. So take out that shirt, even if you're a bigger guy like me, and wear your
And
sports
I'm
bra.
not a super skinny girl either. So I was before menopause hit, and then menopause hit, and then it said, okay, here's some weight.
I know it's true what they say. Like every 10 years, you do gain like 10 pounds. Like for me, it just never. I was like, there's no way I'll be 250, and lo and behold, here I am. I did lose 240 now, so I'm trying to lose
2020,
a little
I
bit
was
more.
down to 104 pounds.
Wow, yeah.
And now I'm back up to 130, and nothing is taking it off. Menopause, women's
Ah,
hormones, and I portion everything.
wow. So
But
yeah, it's just
it is what it is. I'm like, you know what?
hormones to do it.
I'm healthy. My heart is freaking gorgeous. My blood work is gorgeous. I'm controlling my diabetes. So you know what? I'm happy. I'm good. That's what matters.
All right. All right. So let's get to the last portion. This is called this or that. So you just pick this or that.
Okay.
So number one is burgers or a hot dog. What the hot
Burgers.
dog? It should be pizza. I don't know why I put hot dog. I must have been thinking burgers or
Burgers.
pizza. So
Burgers.
burgers. So what's your go-to burger after a race or something?
Oh man. If I can get the pretzel bun and
Hmm.
then just a nice thick burger. Oh man, yeah.
You're making me hungry. Making me hungry.
I know,
All right. The next one is a marathon or a half marathon.
right? Both.
Both. Different reasons. Why do you
I,
why do you like either of those? Why do you like the half?
I like to have just because that's light work.
Yeah, yeah. And then the
Halves are
marathon.
totally light work now. Halves are easy work. I can wake up in the morning. Oh, I feel like doing a half today. I'll do a
Yeah,
half today.
you're totally a
Marathons
runner
are
now. You're totally a
marathons are
runner.
good. Like I wouldn't. Yeah, marathons to me are just good because they're just fun. They're good. They push me. I have to push the mileage for the training. You get to really see the city of where you are.
Hmm.
That's what I love about the Houston Marathon too. It really you
Yeah.
get to see all parts of the city.
And then the next one is going to be a local race or a destination race.
Oh, I'm really into the destination race right now.
I see that.
I'm really liking the idea of traveling. My husband has become my Sherpa, so he goes with me, and we usually take like an extra day so that we can
Hmm.
go explore the area. That's what we just did in DC. We took Monday off. So after the marathon on Sunday, Monday we went to the museums. We went to the butterfly museum, and then we went to the dinosaur museum. But by that time, I was like, okay, baby, I'm sorry. I'm tapping out. I was like, I'm getting tired. My feet are tired. I need, I'm pooped.
So does your husband he train with you too, or
He does not. He's, the most he'll train for is a 5K.
so right now you're not running on the treadmill at all? It's all outside, or you
Right
still
now,
lifting
all
up there?
outside. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What kind of treadmill is that back there?
That's the Soul, it's the Soul F63. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
raises up and lowers it. I got it specifically to train for Big Sur because I needed the
Mhm.
extra hill training.
So it
And
has
then
a decline too?
it does not have the declining.
Mhm. Okay.
I wasn't, I mean, just to be honest, I wasn't really worried about the declining, and I'm still not.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
more worried about the incline.
Okay. Yeah, I have a Soul treadmill too. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're
They're
pretty
beasts.
good.
They're
And I
beasts.
financed it, so it worked out.
All right, the last one is running or cycling. You have to pick one. I'm gonna make you choose one.
Right now, psych. I mean, I'm going to pick
Oh,
running.
okay. So yeah, all right, good, 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 good. Especially since the Houston Marathon's coming up. That's only like 70 days away, I think. So
I
it's
know.
it's
It's like
coming
10
up.
weeks.
Yeah, I need to start training. I thought it
But
was.
you haven't trained yet?
I'm training. I need to keep on training. So I
Okay.
started it
Okay.
when we had the what's it called over at the park at the Roy Cullen Park,
Yeah.
the kickoff party. That's when I
Yeah.
started my training. So
Okay.
I'll be there. I'll be there. 6 hours is my goal. So I should be fine.
Are you running this weekend?
Yeah, I'm doing the Cypress.
Oh, you're
So
doing
I'm
this.
gonna
Are you gonna
yeah
do
do
that?
13, and I need to do 3 more miles after that because I'm also training for my 100 miler. So I have that. Then
Woo!
that's in February. That's the more important goal than the marathon. So
Man, when are you doing that?
that's on February 2nd over at Rocky Raccoon.
Oh my God. So what are your how many miles are you running a week right now?
It's probably about 40 to that training program I'm on is supposed to be 50 miles a week. So I'll get up to 60 miles, but that's about it. But 40
Man,
to
that
50. And I'm slow, so those
hats off
miles
to
take
you.
forever. They take a long time.
I want to do an ultra, but the most ultra I want to do is a maybe a 50 miler. I'm
That's how it
definitely thinking about
starts.
doing a 50K.
That's how it starts. You're like, I'm never gonna do anything more, and then you'll be like me, doing 100, chasing. Because I DNF last year, and this year is the year that I go back and redeem myself.
Oh man, I couldn't even imagine. That's great.
Yeah,
Where's it
you'll be
at?
there. It's over at Huntsville State Park, so
Oh,
not too far.
it's that one.
Yeah, yeah. Last year
Oh,
it poured down rain. It was muddy on me for my first 100 miler ever, so it was the worst conditions, and I got up to 80 miles. But this year,
and then you were just
I get
like,
a
I can't
buckle.
do it. My feet are toast. My body, you got the
Uh,
chafing and the
well,
blisters.
I didn't make it through the last cutoff. I was 15 minutes behind. So yeah,
Ah,
sad.
15 minutes.
Yeah,
Oh, that's harsh.
it was tough. But I want to see you. You're gonna be ultra Natasha soon.
No.
Okay, I want to see you do all 50 states with a marathon. Then there you go.
Yeah.
All right, Natasha. Thanks so much for being on here. How can people find you if they want to find you on social media?
Little bit fit cray.
A little bit
Little
fit cray.
Lilbit fit
Who,
and then cray Cray.
who came up with that name? You or your husband?
Me. Because I'm small, so I was thinking a little bit. When I was in the army, they called me Little Bit.
Okay.
And then I'm a little bit crazy.
No, I love your energy. I love your spirit, and thanks for being on the podcast. I
Thank
know
you so
this is
much
gonna
for
be.
having me.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Night.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode with Natasha Epperson. Make sure to follow her on all her socials. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff so that this podcast can be seen by many more people. We'll see you guys in the next episode every Monday. And I might take a break for Christmas, but who knows? Figure it out later. Peace out, guys.